Hello everyone, my name is Nikhilesh. I welcome you to my channel RPA Techno Hub. Today we are going to learn about basic overview of UiPath Studio, hands-on UiPath activities like input dialog, assign, if, multiple assign, message box, and write line with a simple use case, and also about creating variables in different ways. The use case is about finding out the total bill for a customer's purchasing. So wherein we first find out the total actual bill of the purchasing of a customer, add 5% of interest to the actual bill, and then we'll give a discount of 50 rupees if the actual bill exceeds 500. Otherwise, we'll give a discount of 20 rupees to find out the total bill for a customer. Now let us see how we can achieve this using UiPath RPA tool. So before we start, I would recommend you to watch my previous video wherein I explained about UiPath architecture. So if you are a beginner, then I would recommend you to watch that video as it is important to know about it. So here I'm creating a process, a blank process. Just click on it. So it'll ask you to name the process. So I'll just name it as UiPath basics underscore 01. You can give the description about the process, that what it is about. So customer billing, and this process will get stored in this path by default. By default, your processes will go get stored in this path. If you want to change the path, you can do that just by clicking on the browse button. So it will let you select a different folder. Let me just click on create. It is creating a workspace. It is adding dependencies. All the dependencies, like you can see them over here in the projects. So Excel, mail, system, these all packages got downloaded by default. Uh, so you can automate Excel, mail, UI automations can be done without any need of installing them explicitly from managed packages. And also you will get main.xaml file created and project.json file created by default. That can be seen in the file explorer just by clicking this icon. So you can see them. So this process got stored in the path that was shown while we were creating the process. And this is activities, so which will let you build the automated workflow. Let me click on this main workflow. So this is the canvas wherein you can use these activities to configure the bot or the automated workflow. You can build the automated workflow over here on the canvas. And on the right hand side, you can see the properties pane wherein you can configure the activities as to how it should work. And here outline will give you the tree structure overview of the process that you created, the workflow. So I'll show it to you at the end. And this is UiPath orchestrator resources. So if your studio is connected to orchestrator, you can see all the assets and queues that are created over there in orchestrator. And this is variables section wherein you can see and create the variables. And to be able to create variables, you need to have at least one activity placed on your canvas. You need to drag and drop at least, you should have dragged and dropped at least one activity on the canvas. And this is arguments. So if you want to pass in some arguments to this particular workflow, the main workflow, you can pass in. And then if you want to send out certain arguments out of this particular workflow, you can do that just by creating the arguments over here. And then import, which will let you import certain namespaces of .NET framework. So it is built upon .NET framework, so you can have any kind of namespaces imported. By default, you have these many namespaces imported. And output. So this is a console wherein you can see the output of a given process. So when you run a process from Studio, you can see all the logs and then outputs over here. Let me just unpin this. Yeah, and now let us start automating the workflow for a given use case. Let us just build the workflow. Okay, so first I will ask user to enter the quantity. So using input dialog, just drag and drop on the canvas. As and when you drag the first activity, that will go get wrapped up in that will get wrapped up in a sequence. So here I'm just giving the header of the dialog box, enter quantity, and here I'm just entering, please enter the quantity. So on the dialog box, this is going to be the header and this is going to be the body. And right below this, you'll get an edit box wherein you have to enter the quantity. Okay. And that should be stored in a variable. That should be stored in a variable over here. So to be able to create a variable, you can either right click on it or you can use Control K. So this is one way of creating variable. Just let me just right click and then select this create variable, and I'll name it as quantity and give enter. You can see that variable created over here, the variables section, and by default it will get created as string. So I just wanted it to be in 32. So I'm just changing it to in 32. I do not want any default value to be given over here. Okay, so we are good here. And now I'll give the price, the actual price of the product. Okay, so I just change it to in 32 again, and I'll give a default value of 20 rupees. So each quantity, each product would cost 20 rupees. And now that we have actual price and quantity, let me just find out uh, the actual price. Using assign, you can find that out. Assign is an activity which will assign certain values to certain variables. Say here you can build the expression. So I just need to find out the total actual price. So that can be done with the expression called quantity into. So just type in Q. Yeah. So if you just type in Q, it'll the IntelliSense will give you the list of variables which are starting with Q. Let me just select that and into and actual price. Just type in EA. You can select actual price from the IntelliSense. And I want that to be stored in a variable called, just use Control K, a variable called actual bill. So you have seen creating the variables in three different ways, right? So actual bill is created as a string. Just that is the error being shown here. So let me just change that to int32 to get rid of that error. And you can see that error is gone away now. So we have seen creating variables in three different ways. One from just right clicking and create variable, and another way is Control K, and the other way is creating variables from here. Okay, and you can change the variable types just by clicking on the drop down over here, and you can see the scope. So the variables are scoped inside sequence. So let me just name this sequence as main sequence. Okay, and so now that we have uh, actual bill calculated, so I can add you know the GST or tax to it, so which is 5%. So how can I do that? So I can just drag and drop another assign, and then I can add 5% of tax to the actual bill. So that is actual bill. If you feel not comfortable building the expression over here, you can go to the properties section and then click on these three dots, which will let you edit the expression. Actual bill plus brackets actual bill star, that is into 0.05 is the 5%. So actual bill into 0.05 will be the 5% of actual bill that is getting added to the actual bill, so that you will have the tax added actual bill. So let me just click on OK. And so this is actual bill. I just wanted to store it in actual bill. I'm just changing it. So now you see an error over here. It says that you're trying to store a double value into an integer. Okay, you're trying to store conversion. So implicit option strict on this allows implicit conversions from double to integer, right? So let me just convert this into integer. So this is resulting me in double value. So that needs to be converted into integer. So just type in cint and close it. So convert to integer. Okay. So this will convert the double value into integer. So this is an expression from vb.net. Cint is a function, and we are passing that the expression as an argument to the cint. So now you can see that error is gone away. So we have found out the actual bill, and then we can go ahead find giving the discount for this particular guy. So but before that, so if the customer wants to see the total tax amount also, you need to have another assign. So like that you will have multiple assigns. So instead of having multiple assigns on the design pane or the design canvas, so you can use multiple assign activity. So let me just type in multiple. So you'll get multiple assign, which will let you build multiple expressions in one particular activity. So here I will copy this and I will paste it here, and here it is actual bill. Okay, and then so you can add this expression also over here just by clicking add. So the second expression can be built. So that is I want to find out I want to store the tax amount separately since user wants it to be uh, shown. So what I can do is that actual bill star 0.05 is the interest. Just do Control K and interest. Okay, so interest variable got created, and so you can convert this into integer if you want. Integer, and this needs to be explicitly converted into integer, right? Cint. So click OK. Now the error is gone away, and now actual bill should have added this interest, right? So we should add this interest to the actual bill. So I'm changing the actual bill as actual bill plus interest. Okay, so now I can avoid these assign activities. So those are happening in one go inside multiple assign. Now I can do if use if, and then if actual bill exceeds 500, I would give a discount of 50 rupees, right? So how can I do that? Giving discount, which is a calculation again, right? Use assign activity in the if block. So if the condition is true, this block will get executed. If the condition is false, else block will get executed. Okay. So actual bill minus 50 is going to be your final total bill. Just let me just create that variable, final total bill. And then, so it is getting created as, so by default, a variable will get created as a type string. So that needs to be changed to in 32 in here in our process. And if you want, you can copy and paste the activity over here. And here we need to give a 20 rupees of discount, right? So just give 20. And at the end, I want to see that all the values, right? Like, let me use right line. Right line. I want to see the actual bill, which is included with the tax, which is included tax. So actual bill. So here we can append strings, something like this. Actual bill is, that is in double quotes. I'm just adding plus symbol. And then this needs to be, this is a string. So right line is a console that can show only strings. So that is the reason I have double quoted this actual bill is string. Okay. And then I can put something. So if you put the expression in double quotes, that will become a string. Okay. So that is what I'm doing in here. Actual bill is, this is a variable of type integer. So let me just click on this expression builder. So actual bill dot to string. Okay. And just add a new line string just by typing VB new line. So that will simply add a new line string to this new line character. Okay. And then I want to see the interest calculator. Interest is plus. So we have that stored in interest variable. So just use interest dot to string. Interest dot to string. And I'll add a new line character again. That is VB new line, so that you will get to see the result in different lines, or you can leave it also. So VB new line plus, so what do we want next? So interest and then final bill, right? So final total bill. Final total bill is plus final total bill dot to string. Okay, so this will print all the values like actual bill uh, in a first line, and then interest in the second line, and then final total bill in the third line. So with the string, with the strings appended like actual bill is actual bill, and then interest is interest, and the final total bill is final total bill. So this will get displayed in the console. So right line will let you display some message on the on the console, that is output pane. So now I want to display the final total amount on a message box as well. So just type in box, and do final total bill. Just type in F, final total bill. So there is a typo. So now that I can change the variable from here, final total bill, and everywhere it will get reflected. So right now that it got reflected over here also. So final total bill dot to string. It's invalid dot to string. Okay. Yeah. So this is it. We have completed the process. And I will show you the annotations and some best practices also in this video. Let me just do Control F5 to run the process. So it is asking me to enter the quantity. So I'm just entering 20. So 20 quantity, and then 400 is displayed. Okay. So let me just see what is the actual bill, which included the tax in it. So the actual bill is 420. So it included tax, and the interest is 20. And what are we doing? We're giving 20 rupees of discount if it doesn't exceed 500. So on 420, on the actual bill, we're giving 20 rupees of discount. So you have got 400, right? So we got the expected result. So now if I go in and execute the same process over again with a different value, like which will result in the actual bill as 600 or above 500. So let me just give 40 quantity, 40 into 20, that should be 800, right? And then you see this 790 as the final bill. So let me just see the results in the output console. So the actual bill is 840, and that is because 40 into 40, 40 into 20, that will be 800, plus interest is 40, so that is added 840 minus 50 rupees of discount, so that is the 790, right? Final total bill is 700, and you can see everything got displayed in a new line because of the VB new line that we appended to that particular string. So this is about the example, and so here we have seen input dialog, multiple assign, if activity, and then write line activity, and also about some functions like VB new line character, and then the append character, right? Yeah. Now let me just show you it in outline. So here you can see the outline, which will make you understand the process in a single glance instead of scrolling down and scrolling up. So you can see it over here. So now let us just put in some best practices in this process, so that every sequence is required to have an annotation added. Just right click on the sequence and add annotation. So it is about customer billing process, right? Finding customer total bill. Okay. So this is about finding customer total bill. And in here, you can change input dialog, comma, enter quantity. Enter quantity. And as and when you click here, right, so you can see the structure over here. So you can move back to one step and then move back to main as well. Okay. So multiple assign. So here we are finding out what you you can completely rename, or you can keep the default name as is, and you can append the name that you wanted to add. Multiple assign AB actual bill interest. Okay, multiple assign actual bill. Let me just remove this and just type in multi assign. Yeah, and you can go back to main. So if, so what condition is it about? It is about if actual bill exceeds 500. So here also I can rename it final bill when actual bill exceeds or is equal to 500. So here I can put some question marks so that it looks like a condition. I will tell you why this naming is required. So it'll let your co-developer, or when it goes for maintenance, right? When a process goes for maintenance, so it'll be easy for the developer to understand the process and to maintain it. Final bill when AB is less than 500. Okay, and just go back to the main, right line, AB final bill. You can just rename it if right line AB actual bill final bill and interest. We are saying interest also, right? Interest. Yeah. So this is how you need to name message box final bill. Okay. Now this is important as to understand the complete workflow. Just by clicking on outline, you can easily understand now. It is main sequence. You're asking to enter, you're asking user to enter quantity, and your multiple assign. Here it is multiple assign, wherein you are finding out the actual bill and the interest. And here, if the actual bill exceeds 500, that is what your condition is. And then, uh, you're doing the actual bill. If actual bill is 500, greater than 500, you're doing certain discount. And if the else, the final bill when AB is less than 500. Okay, so you can just select that. So it will take you there. Okay, so it will easy to navigate between your activities and the workflow, right? You can, if you want to change this, so here it doesn't sound, it doesn't look uh, as per that, right? So here you can change it if you want, just by going there, discount 50, and here you can change it as discount 20. Yeah, now you can go to outline and you can see it. Okay, if the actual bill exceeds 500, you're giving discount of 50, and then if it doesn't, else giving a discount of 20, and you're displaying all that actual bill in right line in the console, and then message box final bill. So this is it for the today's session. I hope it is informative and useful. If you like the video, please do subscribe to my channel and click the bell icon. And please don't forget to share the video. Thank you.